Hi beauties, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share 15 of my true holy grails. Not just the word we toss around all the time. Holy grail, holy grail, holy grail. Here are 15 of my true holy grails. So if you'd like to find out more, then just keep watching. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for joining me for today's video. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on your post notifications. That way you won't miss any of my uploads. So recently I noticed that a lot of people use the phrase Holy Grail. And even I, over the years, have used that phrase a lot. And I've been on YouTube now for many, many years. And some of the products that I used to call my Holy Grails, I don't buy anymore. But it was a holy grail at some point. I think that we could all agree that over time, something could be replaced by something else. So to be on this holy grail list, I thought about things like, is this a product that I have been buying many, many years? I have purchased it multiple times. Is this new to my collection, but it has blown me away in such a way that I know the moment it empties, I'm going to buy it again? Is it a product that maybe you don't repurchase, but if it were broken or lost, I would immediately go out to buy it again? Is this a product that when I am traveling, I oftentimes want to grab and have with me? These are the types of things I've thought about when determining, is this a true holy grail? And by the way, these are not all of my holy grails. It's just 15 that I have selected to talk to you about today. So if you like this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, because I can create this video again with 15 more holy grails. So these are not in any particular order, and I have some of these products on my face today. So without further delay, let's go ahead and talk about 15 of my true holy grails. Let's talk about this item first while my lip is fresh. This is a Tom Ford lipstick, and you guys have heard me talk about this lipstick many times on my channel. And this is what she looks like. And I will swatch it here. This is Spanish Pink. And of course I have it on with a brown lip liner, and I have a gloss on top. I have purchased this lipstick in other shades. Most recently I picked up the shade Slip. It's another pink. But even though I have this in other shades, this is still my favorite. And I have purchased this lipstick more than one time. The Tom Ford lipsticks are extremely expensive, but very, very creamy, and my favorite lipstick formula. But particularly, this is my favorite nude lip. Many, many times, this is the lip that I am wearing here on my channel. It just goes with so many looks. It smooths my lips in a way that many other lipsticks don't. I do have some other brands that I like MAC lipsticks are really, really good. Charlotte Tilbury, she has a formula that I like as well. But this particular formula just makes my lips look less wrinkled. You don't see as many lines on the lip. And it's just a gorgeous lip. I highly recommend the Tom Ford formula. It is a luxurious brand, and I absolutely love it. I love the component. There's usually a TF in the lipstick. It's just a beautiful lip. I've gone on enough about it, but love this lipstick by Tom Ford in the shade Spanish Pink. This is a lip product as well. I'm going to put it on right now. This is a Fenty gloss. Most of the time, you guys see me top my lipsticks with Pat McGrath Dare to Bear, but we're not going to talk about her today, maybe in a future video. The lip gloss that I want to mention today is the Fenty Gloss Bomb. I should wear this more on my channel. I just enjoy topping a lot of my lipsticks with Dare to Bear, and I just don't reach for this here on my channel a lot, but I always have these in my purse. These are the two that I just grabbed out of my purse. This one was in my travel makeup bag. So 3 right here, and I have some of the minis on my vanity right now. This is Fussy that I just applied. It's probably the one that I have repurchased the most. The other one that I absolutely adore is Sweet Mouth, and it's on empty, so I really need to put one in my cart. And this one is like a milky light pink. And then I also really enjoy Champ Stamp, and I think it says Fantasy, Champ Stamp Fantasy, and it's kind of a light champagne gold. I love the price of these. These are relatively affordable. Again, beautiful component. I love that it comes in so many colors, just like a lot of the Fenty product lines, various products like the highlighters. There's so many shades to choose from. I also love buying these during the holidays. There are oftentimes holiday gift sets, and they come in a smaller travel size, and you get many shades when you buy it in a gift set. So I love picking up the gift set. So I think this lip gloss is probably my most purchased lip gloss for that reason. I've purchased many of the regular size, and I have purchased many gift sets over the years, so I have them everywhere. And it's gorgeous. It's just the perfect consistency. It's not too sheer, it's not too opaque. It adds a beautiful shine. It is extremely comfortable, and it wears beautifully. I'm gonna bounce back to a primer. I don't have this primer on today because it's also sunscreen and it is nighttime, believe it or not. This is the Milk Primer by Beekman 1802. This is a broad spectrum SPF 35 sunscreen primer. I originally got this during an Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. It was 50% off. I'd never tried anything from this brand, but it was a sunscreen, it was a primer. I thought I would give it a go, and it is actually not very expensive even when it's not on sale. So it was a really great price. It has a little bit of a shaker here. This is a new bottle. This is the bottle that I currently am using, and I probably have a couple more uses in it before it is empty. I love this sunscreen primer. I really like when I can get a product that has dual purposes. But this is not just a great sunscreen, it is an awesome primer. When I wear this primer, I get very good longevity out of my makeup. Whenever I have it on, my makeup lasts longer. It is very comfortable, and that's my favorite thing about it. Just I get a great makeup day. The bonus is that it serves as a sunscreen. So I can apply this one product I have on my sunscreen, and it allows my foundation to last all day. So it is wonderful, and it's affordable. So I have purchased this on sale, and I have purchased it regular price multiple times since getting it for the first time. Since I'm talking about primer, I want to mention the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I've talked about this on my channel so many times, and I have actually given it away in a giveaway. It's been featured during 21 Days of Beauty, and this is a relatively pricey primer, so if you can get it 50% off, it is an amazing deal. I have probably a little less than half left in here. The first time I used it, it was Point Perks from Sephora. It sat on my vanity forever before I finally said, let me try this. It just didn't seem like it was gonna be all that just by looking at the box or whatever that it came in. I tried this, and that particular day I had the best makeup day ever, and I thought, what did I put on my face that was different? And it was this. So I consciously tried it again, and again, a fantastic makeup day. This is made for people who have combo skin, normal skin, and oily skin. It is not necessarily meant for people with dry skin, although people with dry skin think it's meant for them because it's a moisturizer. But it is one of the best, if not the best primer I own. I don't like to be without it. I immediately repurchase. It is fantastic. I've purchased it in smaller sizes, large sizes. This is the largest, but I have repurchased this over and over again. I currently have 2 minis in my Alex drawers as backups to this larger one. I don't have words. I don't have words anymore when it comes to this primer. It is the primer actually that I have on today. It is phenomenal. I'm going to talk about this concealer. This was not on my today list. I've made multiple Holy Grail lists here. This was something I was going to talk about later. Wasn't going to talk about it today until I sat down to begin talking, and I was like, something's not quite like I wanted with my brows, and I realized that I had not used this. I used something else that I have in my vanity that I oftentimes use on an everyday basis, but typically when I film, I prefer this one. I have used that one when I film too, but I prefer this one. And it was definitely what was missing from my look today. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, and this one is in the shade Biscuit. And I have repurchased this more than one time. I've been using it now for a while. I also purchased it in maybe Caramel, I think is the other shade, but I prefer Biscuit. It's a little bit more bright, and it is the softest concealer. It can be used as your concealer under your eye. I have used it that way, but I don't know that that's how they promote it. More people, I think, use it like to spot conceal on your face, but I like to use it to sculpt my brows. That's my favorite way to use this concealer. In the beginning, I used it in all the different ways, but now this is the primary reason that I buy this concealer is for sculpting my brows. I absolutely love it. I think it's the perfect brightening shade for me to brighten that area under my brows. It is very soft and creamy. It is so easy to work with. It is a holy grail. There aren't that many pot concealers. If you guys know of other brands, feel free to share, but I haven't seen that many that are in a pot, and this is just a unique formula. It's very unique, and I can't just go pick it up somewhere else. I can't just go find it somewhere else at another brand's counter. I keep buying this one because I just don't know anything else I can buy to take its place. So it is a holy grail. It's irreplaceable. I love this. This is another product that wasn't on today's list. I was going to talk about it on another day, but as I was doing my makeup, I wasn't liking my under eyes, and I was like, where's that product? Where's that powder? Where's that powder? I started looking. Sometimes I need that extra something under my eyes, and I have been using it more and more and more lately. It is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. This one's in the shade medium, and I have hit pan, and this is actually the only one that I have purchased. I wasn't using it when I first got it. Like, I tried it, I liked it, but it was an extra step, and I just wasn't reaching for it every day. But I'm getting older, and my under eyes are changing more and more and more, and I found myself wanting to reach for this a lot. I was starting to love how my under eyes looked whenever I added this extra step. So I tend to still put a loose powder down, and then I will follow with this. Sometimes I do it in the reverse, but I prefer to put the loose powder than this. It has helped me have a much smoother, blurred under eye. It is a game-changing powder. Just like this concealer that I just mentioned, this is a very unique product in my opinion. I haven't purchased any other under eye powders, like any other powders that are specifically made for the under eye. I prefer the medium shade because it is the most translucent looking for me. I like this one, but it comes in a lot of shades. I probably should try some others. It is a holy grail. I have not found anything else to take its place. I only have this one, but the second it's empty, I will be buying it again. I love this by McGrath Labs. I want to talk about a couple of fragrances. I'm not done with makeup yet. We'll be back. My handle on my Instagram account is lightblue804. 804 is my birthday. I think I created my Instagram account before YouTube, and that's why they're not the same names. But anyway, light blue is for this fragrance. I have no idea why at that time I was compelled to use this fragrance name. I have no idea, but I did. This is Dolce&Gabbana Light Blue. This one is the Intense, and this is a smaller size. I always have a light blue fragrance forever. Like before I got into makeup, before I got into hair and everything, I was kind of this creature of habit, and I had makeup that I wore all the time, and I had a fragrance that I wore every day, and this was that fragrance. I got hooked on this fragrance, and I wore it every day for years before I started like really buying others. I had other fragrances. This was my go-to everyday fragrance, and the other fragrances that I had, I wore on the weekends or to parties and that kind of thing. But this was the one that I always wanted to have on every day. And this is a powder fresh fragrance. I always say that it reminds me of shower to shower. The powder, if you guys know what I'm talking about, and if you apply that powder and you apply this, you're gonna get a very intense, fresh smell. You're gonna smell wonderful. And when I do that, I am complimented on how I smell. People are like, oh my goodness, you smell so amazing. It is a very clean fragrance, and it is a wonderful everyday fragrance, and you could wear it all year in my opinion. This fragrance is a holy grail. I have purchased it many times and always have one in my arsenal. Always. I'm never without it. The other fragrance that I want to mention, I've only purchased once, but as soon as it empties, I will buy it again. I'm not good at saying this name, but this is the Maison Francis Kurkdjian Paris fragrance. This is Baccarat Rouge 540. I filmed a video on my channel when I tried this for the first time, and I got roasted for rubbing my arms together, my wrists together, so I do not do that anymore. This, oh gosh, this is a unisex fragrance. When I first started wearing this, or whenever I wear it, if I put the right amount on, I'm always going to receive compliments on this fragrance. People will always smell it. It lingers. I've worn this and left that area, and maybe I'm walking back to the area and I'm hearing people talk about a smell that they're smelling. Like, what is that smell? Who is that? They're like trying to figure it out. Like, where did this smell come from? They don't know. They don't know, but they smell something. And it'll be me. And I'll get like close to the people that are talking, and they're like, it's you. What are you wearing? I can't ever put it into words. I don't know how to describe this fragrance, but it is magnificent. It is a unisex fragrance, so it is a different kind of smell if you're female, but it is definitely worth the hype. Everyone talks about this as a well-known luxury fragrance. It is ridiculously expensive, and I only have a little bit left. I will repurchase this fragrance because it is a wonderful fragrance. I love how it smells on me, and I love that other people love the smell. Let's hop to another makeup product. This is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid Broad Spectrum SPF 15 Foundation. Believe it or not, I had never tried this foundation until a few months ago. People always asked me the shade that I wore in this foundation, and my shade is NC46, by the way. I had to tell people that I did not know my shade because I did not own this foundation. For some reason, I just never picked it up. They reformulated it. More people were talking about this foundation. YouTubers that I watched, they love this foundation, and I thought this was a great time for me to try it. And it was on sale at Ulta. So I picked it up. I went in store. I tested the shades. I found the perfect shade. Like, when I look at this foundation right now, it matches all the yellow undertones in my skin. It looks like second skin. Like, I can tell I have on foundation, but the shade match is magnificent. I talked about this in a video where I was talking about 10 products that I was obsessed with. This was one of those products. I have already repurchased this foundation. I recommended this to my mother, and I purchased one for my daughter for Christmas, and I purchased a backup for myself. I was extremely impressed with this foundation and how long it wears, the longevity. It does not move. So if you are a combo person, oily person, and even normal, I highly recommend this foundation. It is a long wearing foundation that just grips to your face and it stays put. It gives you beautiful skin. The shade match is perfect and it's relatively affordable. I've gotten it on sale, but it is not the most expensive foundation that I've ever purchased. And my understanding was in the beginning it did not have a pump, and now it does. So you just turn the cap there and it will pump out. So it also now comes with a pump. This foundation is so good, it knocked my socks off from the very first application, and I have a lot of foundations that I love, but this one is like, again, a best all around. It looks amazing on the skin, it is a perfect shade match, and it doesn't move. This is a product that I rarely talk about on my channel because I always apply liner and lashes off camera these days, so I don't talk about this product, nor do you see it very often. This is the Lancôme Art Liner. I don't know that anybody talks about this liner, although I think when I have looked online, like on Sephora's website, it looks like quite a few people have purchased it and have reviewed it. If I'm not mistaken. This is sort of expensive for a liner. It's $36, but it has had 1.4 reviews, like stars, and it is almost 5 stars. Not quite 5 stars. And it is definitely different than your average liquid liner. It is not the only liquid liner that I use. I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. Okay, that's what it looks like. Oftentimes I use the Stila liquid liner and I use this one, so I use them both. This one is very black and it is shinier, and the one is quite different. Like a lot of liners, they're longer, the handles are longer, and the felt tip is very stiff in a way. This is a very flexible tip. It is shorter, it is just made differently. But what I like to do with this is I first line my lid with the Stila. I apply the lashes. I like to use this one to go over the line again to cover the lash band and give me a very dark, shiny kind of line. When I don't have this, my line looks terrible. When I use this, the line is just a little more snatched. If you have a lash game that works for you, you don't have to have this. But if sometimes you apply lashes and you don't necessarily love how they look and you want to take it up a level, I would recommend this Art Liner by Lancôme. This is a substitute product. This is the Calm line from Paula's Choice. It is the 1% BHA Sensitive Skin Exfoliant. It has salicylic acid in it. I talked about this in my Best of Beauty skincare video that I filmed recently. This is a substitute product because the one that I prefer is the 2%, and it is in a blackish charcoal gray bottle. I received this one from Paula's Choice in a PR package, and I am determined to empty the 1% one before I buy another 2%. If I purchase a 2%, I won't reach for this. I'm just gonna use the one that I love the most. To keep myself from continuing to push this aside, I'm trying to empty this skincare. I like to empty my skincare. But this is wonderful. Like the 1%, the 2%, this has reached Holy Grail status, is something that I have to have. When I don't use it, because I'm just like anyone else, I'm human, I get lazy. When I don't use this product, I can tell a difference with my skin. I have more textured skin. I have little fine bumps. I have to go to the dermatologist. I have little cysts that pop up, like I'm seeing one over here. I need to go to the dermatologist and get them to remove them. I have a couple up here on my forehead, like I'm getting a little knot right there. What is that about? I don't have perfect skin, but when I use this, I have better skin. It helps to remove texture. It helps to shrink pores. It addresses enlarged pores. It helps me keep my skin more smooth. It keeps me from having breakouts. Like I need to use it tonight to try to address this little friend that's popping up on my forehead. This is amazing. The eyeshadow palette that I have on today probably is going to surprise you. It is the ABH NORVINA collection palette. And when I first got this palette, I talked about it a ton in favorites, and I just talked about it. I haven't talked about it very much lately. If you're interested in this palette, I would suggest that you go get it now because it's starting to disappear. Like I've seen it on Amazon, I think. I'm looking at it on the Anastasia Beverly Hills website, but I haven't seen it on Sephora's website. I think that's where I purchased this one. So let me show you guys what this palette looks like. It's not even considered to be an eyeshadow palette. I think they call it like a pigment palette because there's something in this palette, like maybe the glitters or something that they don't want to call an eyeshadow, so they had to call it a pigment palette because something in here is technically not supposed to go on your eyes. I don't know what it is, but I love this palette. The reason that I chose this one is one of the ones I wanted to talk to you guys about today, even though it's not one I've talked about recently, is because it's so unique. It's a very large palette, as you can tell, lots of purple. So I'm a purple lover. I love purple, one of my favorite colors, and I like how purple eyeshadow look on me. If you love purple, it's got you covered. And the reason that I call this a holy grail is if it broke and it's still available for purchase, I would want to replace this because it's so unique. It's got everything, and it's not just purple. It's beautiful if you are a purple lover. It's very unique and hard to replace with anything else in my collection. Another eyeshadow palette that is a holy grail is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Dreams palette. It is a tiny little quad. I would buy this again in a heartbeat. I have used it to death. It is very well loved. I will swatch this one because it's only 4 shadows. It's easy to swatch. Alright, so this is what this palette looks like. It is just absolutely stunning on my brown girl skin. It is a palette that is like the perfect quad for me. It has mattes and shimmers. Like, I absolutely love that. I love that versatility. It has everything. It has like a transition shade. It has a contour shade or crease color, if that's how you choose to use it. This can go on your lid. This can go on the lid if you like. This can go in the inner tear duct. There's just a lot you can do with this palette, and I consider these to be very much so everyday colors. I think of this as an everyday palette. I could wear this every day and get it to work with just about anything that I'm wearing. It's beautiful. And I actually purchased a Charlotte Tilbury palette that was a holiday palette, and I fell in love with her formula during that season. I love that palette. Her eyeshadows are perfect, like mature woman type of eyeshadows, and I think that they're great for every day. They don't have a lot of chunky glitters in them like this particular palette. You see that it's a shimmer, but you're not seeing a lot of glitter. So it's not gonna accent a lot of texture or have a lot of fallout. It's just perfect on my eyes. So I just love the softness. The matte shadows are very blendable. There is a Pillow Talk palette that's lighter, if you want this particular palette, you got to get the Pillow Talk Dreams. You got to make sure you get that one to get the darker shades. But by far, one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes of all time. If I lose this one or, you know, need to replace it because it is well loved, and so when it's time to replace this palette, I will buy it again. Bronzer. I love bronzer. I think that one of the reasons I love bronzer so much is I didn't used to wear it. I think there were a lot of us who are women of color who never wore bronzer, probably because it wasn't being made for us. Once I discovered bronzer, I wanted to have a lot of bronzer. I just love what bronzer does to my makeup look. I absolutely love it. I adore it. It's one of my favorite like makeup products to have is bronzer. One of the first bronzers that I ever tried was this one by Guerlain. I've talked about it many times here on my channel. Look at how gorgeous the compact is. This is one of the most beautiful components that I have ever seen. So uniquely made. I absolutely love the mystery that is going on in this package. This is a French bronzer. This one is in the shade number 5. The first one I bought was in the shade number 7, and I really didn't probably need that shade because it was very dark, and they don't make it anymore. I am able to use number 5, which is really the right shade for me. So this is the shade. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. I hope you guys are able to see it, this swatch. Okay. So that's what this looks like. It is the bronzer that I'm wearing today. It is the most beautiful, perfect bronzer shade. The powder itself is very luxurious. It adds a little bit of a sheen. It's not like completely matte, but it mostly looks like a matte bronzer, but it's not completely matte. It is beautiful. And because of the perfect shade that it offers, the beautiful style, the component, the fact that it is French, it just is a bronzer that I never want to be without. And I haven't been without, and I have repurchased. The only thing about this one is sometimes, and it hasn't done it this time, so maybe they changed something about the powder, but there have been times when it has gotten like hard pan, and I have to repurchase it just because of that, not because it's empty. Whereas this time, this has not happened. So they may have reformulated it since my initial discovery of this bronzer. And when I first started using this, this was the bronzer everybody was using. And I have heard that in Paris and in France, that if they're talking about bronzer that they're using, this is the brand and the bronzer that they are talking about. This is definitely a holy grail bronzer. It is not my only holy grail, but I certainly wanted to start with this one in this first video because it is so special to me. So this is the final holy grail for this video. And remember, if you like this video and you'd like to see more of my holy grails, be sure to like this video with a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below, and I will definitely film more of these in the future because again, we're just scratching the surface here. I have more holy grails than this. This is a new product, and I really debated on whether to include a newer product in today's video, but I already have another one of these in my cart. This is the blush that I have on today. So if you've been watching me film this video and you've been admiring the blush, I've been admiring it too. It has absolutely blown my mind. This is the Valentino Eye to Cheek blush, and this one is in the shade Roman Sky. I love the packaging. When I hold this package and I view this package, I see this package, it spells luxury for me. I definitely feel like I am using something that is very luxurious. So it is a Valentino blush. It is luxurious. And I'm going to open it here for you to see. And it has a mirror. And then it comes with a mini brush that I still haven't used. but it comes with a little brush so that you can use it when you're traveling. You can use it on your eyes. I have used this on my eyes when I was doing a quick makeup look, and I did like that. This one is Roman Sky. It is a light peach color, and it has these pearlescent finish, and it is absolutely stunning on my cheeks. I want to buy this in other shades. That's why I said I have this in my cart, because I have selected another shade that I want to try, and I really like peach blush. And when I saw this online, I really wanted to have it, but I was influenced to buy it. Somebody else talked about how beautiful it was. I have a little short where I was trying this for the first time. It is a lighter blush, but it is deep enough for my skin tone. And I also wondered, is this gonna look like Orgasm? And it doesn't. In my opinion, it does not look like Orgasm at all. And I just love the creaminess. It's like a cream to powder formula. It seems more like powder. It doesn't seem that much like a cream, but it is a creamy formula, and it gives you this sort of not quite dewy but very radiant finish, but not too radiant. Like, I love my Rare Beauty blushes, but they are extremely luminous, very luminous. This adds just the right amount of luminosity, but it doesn't accent texture on the skin. It doesn't give me that textured appearance. It sort of looks very blurred and just absolutely stunning. I want to reach for this blush every day. That's why I need it in other colors, because sometimes it doesn't necessarily go with the look. But I want to reach for this every day. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I have pressed fast forward. I have placed this in Holy Grail status because I know I'm going to buy it again. If not this shade, I will definitely buy this shade again if it were broken or lost, but I definitely want to try other shades. I've even paused buying the new YSL blushes because I want to get another one of these first. I love the fact that it is eye and cheek, so you have those options, but it is a beautiful blush. It has already made it to Holy Grail status. That concludes 15 of my true Holy Grails. I know we use that term loosely. We love to call everything a Holy Grail, but these are true products that I consider to be Holy Grail products that I have been using a while, have repurchased, have plans to repurchase, would never want them out of my sight. That's how much I love the products that I have just shared with you. So thank you all for joining me for today's video. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I will respond. And if you've not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button before you leave. So I'll be seeing you guys again very soon in my next video. So until the next time we meet again, this is Savvy signing out.